Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based RPG with a lot of anime characters. Now where have I seen this one before? You might be wondering how I managed to get myself into this game, or you might not because it's really not that surprising. Originally I was planning on just ignoring the game because I tried Genshin and never really got into it. However, that changed all because of an April Fool's joke. On April 1st, I switched from profile picture with a friend to try to confuse some people on a Discord server. The issue was that he had an Acheron profile pic, and everyone kept asking me what my friend code in Star Rail was. Instead of explaining to everyone about the April Fool's joke, I decided it would just be easier to play the game and give them a friend code. And then I got addicted. And before we begin, please consider subscribing. I appreciate it. Even with zero idea on what I was doing, I enjoyed the battle system a lot. It's similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus, where your units have speed and can make multiple actions in a round. By using the best resource known as a friend who actually plays the game, I managed to figure out some basic strategies. However, this game is still a gacha, so whether or not you'll actually get the character you want is completely random, but there's still plenty of interesting ways to build a team. Or you could just use Dan Heng. No, not that one. There you go. I had a very interesting team throughout the story, but it worked. Most of the time. A great part of the game is the character variety. At the time of recording, there's over 45 characters with great stories and voice acting. And then there's Sampo Koski. Just take a look at Dan Heng. His English voice actor shares the same first name as me, meaning he's already a great character. Another great part about the game is the story. The first area is the Herta Space Station, which is just a tutorial area which mostly exists to show the player how the game works. Or just choose the wrong dialogue and skip straight to the credits. Those are the real winners. The second area is a frozen wasteland. Now this is my kind of place. I've always had a soft spot for winter and snow areas in games, and I'm one of the few people who doesn't mind ice physics in games. Unfortunately, there wasn't any cool freeze effects in battles, but the story of the area was pretty good, even though it ended up with the same Yuri relationship as Honkai Impact 3. The third area is what my friend refers to as Space China, and I can't say that they're wrong. The story behind Space China is actually pretty cool, and you get a cool new version of Dan Heng to use. What's that? Imbibator Lune is a completely different character, and that he's a limited 5-star, and that he was on a banner just a whole month before I started playing. One more thing, both March 7th and the Trailblazer can just switch to their new forums after story progression for free. The most recent world was the Land of the Dreams Penacony, which I'm not going to say too much on for the reason that the story just finished recently and I'm not trying to spoil anything. Mostly because the story for this area was genuinely amazing. The cinematics, the story, the music. I don't know what the hell Hoyo's cooking for Penacony, but they need to keep it up because it was genuinely amazing. Except for one thing. I'm glad I'm not sponsored, because now I get to talk about what I don't like about the game. Now I like Aventurine. He's got a great design, his voice actor did an amazing job, and as an insane gacha player myself, I found his constant gambling to be fun. However, that does not excuse the abomination of a boss fight. This was my team going into the boss fight. The issue is that he requires your team to be AoE damage, or you're just gonna lose. So since beating my head into a brick wall didn't work, I decided to ask for some help and ended up with this abomination of a team. As you can probably tell, there's no DPS. I sat on this fight for a whole 40 minutes, then my computer decided to crash, so I had to do it again. Penacony is a really great area, but I don't want to think about this fight ever again. As much as I enjoyed Honkai Star Rail's story, it's a shame that as soon as you're done with it, it becomes mindless grinding when you turn on auto battle and do other things while playing. If I could just make one suggestion to Hoyo about the game, please change the relic system. For how hard they are to get and how much RNG is involved with them, it's just kind of unfair. Follow Wuthering Waves route in this one. There you can farm hundreds of echoes, which are the relic equivalent in that game, a day without using any of the limited resource, allowing you to use them to build more characters. That system is so much more fun, because then I get to experiment with more characters, instead of just having a backlog of characters that I'd like to build, but just can't, because I do not have the resources to do it. But that's all the time I have for this video. Now that I finally caught up with the story, I can spend all my free time working on editing again. Right? Chillik here. First of all, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. Secondly, I know this video is kind of different from what I normally work on, but I wanted to try it out. I'll be back to my usual shorts and videos pretty soon. I just had a really bad case of writer's block, but I should be back to my usual bi-weekly videos soon enough. That's all I have for you. Goodbye.